You're only living if you enjoy every second. Soul. Ah. Directed by Pete Docter, and I'm Dr. Pete. I love Pete Docter's stuff.
Funny.
He's great. I want to meet him one day. Someone make that happen. What's Pete Docter's Instagram or Twitter? I gotta reach out to this guy and be like, hey, I love your movies. Let me
He's a
voice act. So that was our reaction to Pixar's Soul, which just came out. Now we are going to give our review of it. And what we like to do is invite you to put your thoughts down below. This is a brand new movie that just came out. So everyone, I'm sure, has thoughts if you saw it yesterday or if you saw it today with us. I thought it was going to be a lot more philosophical when they first said, Soul. Because if you think about Pixar's track record, which Dale hasn't yet seen Inside Out, and that's one of my favorite movies. Yeah. And when they tackled that, it's about the mental state of people, mental health. And they did their work on that. There were so many metaphors and allegories and just how the animation was constructed. I did think a difficulty for them was going to be trying to make it something that all religions and people of all walks of faith and belief could understand. And I think it did play out a difficulty for them because it was very surface level kind of what a soul is. And one big plot hole was the cat being back in its body, even though it was on its way to the great beyond. Oh, this is the great beyond. This is the great before. And you're like, wow, what else are we going to get into? And that was it. And I thought it was going to be the point of him realizing it's the mentorship quality because he was with that student and he helped her find a passion and this other guy find a passion in drumming. And there's this new student and all this stuff and he helps 22. I thought they were going to hit that point home.
But there's the whole aspect of the movie that struck me was that he was able to review his life. He was able to go back moment to moment to moment. And even as the cat, be able to see what other people said about him. When 22, as Joe walked away, the cat was still there going, oh, that's what they said about me, or that's what they do say about me.
And I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to agree with you because I think it hits home. When people are talking about this movie, they're like, oh, I cried so much and all this stuff. I'm thinking Onward level, Onward decimated my soul.
Yeah.
And I was telling this to someone, if you don't cry during Onward, it's like a litmus test for psychopathy. Like if you don't cry during Onward, there's no soul in you. There's this one, which is like the soul. And you think that, what if the soul has feelings? And you're like, oh, snap. But then I don't think it delivered. And I see why they sent it to streaming.
Okay, I get that too. One thing I wasn't happy about was the fact that personalities were given out, but they were all like cynical. They were all, it's like, Earth is a hard place to be, and Earth is kind of, in one way of thinking, is that it's a schoolroom, and that you're here to learn out of your issues and problems, and karmically, and so, that could be the reason why you go and you're going to be aloof, and you're going to be,
narcissistic
and a problem child, and so it's. Except there was nobody going down who was like, you're going to be
cheerful
and peaceful.
Animation's breathtaking. I mean, that's my only comment. It's amazing how close they're getting to reality, and soon they're going to have like humans walking around. But it still has a cartoonish flair to it. My most favorite animation thing was the New York skyline, and also Terry. The way Terry moved around like that, that was really genius. And kind of gave him a sinister Slytherin quality to him.
One of the things I have a question for our community here is, how do people who do not live in New York City receive New York City-centric movies with all these details, like the Pizza Rat and 14th and 7th and the experience of the subway and even when we watched Elf, it's sort of like the same thing. Does it translate, or how does it translate? I mean, movie, do you just live in this idea of New York City because of movies that you see? Not everybody gets to come to New York City. And when you do, you're a tourist and you don't really understand the living of New York City.
What did you think about that, Dale? Where like the passion can become the obsession, and then you become one of those people who just, the big clouds, the dark cloud people.
Yeah, but is it the passion that becomes the obsession? Or is it, sort of like it's the external thoughts They don't belong to you. Somebody's telling you you can't make it.
I think we're making a great distinction that they didn't explicitly say in the movie, but 22's reason for becoming a dark shadow, I don't remember the name of that creature, but for losing herself was that she was internalizing what other people were saying to her. And I think it was even more powerful. I loved it. I mean, that could be a whole, mental health video, and maybe that's something that I think I would want to do for the channel. But just the words that he said to her, he said, "That's not your purpose," and he said, "That's not what your purpose here on the planet is," or he said something, and she heard the word idiot. And he had never said the word idiot, but it's how your words can be heard by someone else. You're responsible for your impact on other people, not just your intention. It was fantastic. I thought that was really the depth that I expected from the entirety of the movie. It was really striking. But you are making a distinction here, which I didn't realize, that she internalized what other people were saying, and that's why she became a cloud. But I was thinking more about, and this is to NK's comment, the guy who was doing the metal detector on the sand, he's like, find, 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 and that became like a rut for him. Disney, put a black character, your black lead character, don't transform them into anything, and give them a stable family where everyone's alive. Just once, please, once. That's all we're asking. Oh, I can't believe they got away with this again after Princess and the Frog, where it's like, oh, finally, first black princess, transform her into a frog for the whole movie. Like, no other princess transformed into anything else.
Very similar with Coco, too.
And Cusco, who's Mexican, is a llama.
Yeah.
Man, Disney, what is up?
John Ratzenberger has had at least a cameo role in every Pixar feature film up until now. Considered by many to be the studio's lucky charm, while some sources claim him to be in the film, he's absent from all official cast listings.
So he's a real human?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
They could have leaned a little bit more on creativity as an aspect of being in the zone and what that meant to be living and in tune with your soul.
Oh, big thing. Last thing I'll say, I did not like that he went back to Earth. I did not like that. That is classic Disney silver bullet, where as long as you're the main character, you get to break the rules. I think it would have been so much stronger if they offered it to him and he rejected going. At least show his face and then cut to 22 being born as a baby.
I like that she was female, for example. They could be friends, and that's what it was about. Just, an equal footing of male-female friendship.
He sort of became that obsessed person.
Yeah.
That's the meta commentary of this.
Yeah, there's some very convenient plot choices,
which makes it a
story going.
Which makes it a very childish movie instead of a kids movie. It's a childish movie. Because I think Onward's a kids movie, but it's not childish.
No, very sophisticated.
Okay, Dale, let's think about our rating in the next couple seconds. And everyone, on a scale of 1 through 10.
Oh, okay, yeah, decimals are allowed.
You forget it every time. We're gonna get a shirt that says decimals are allowed. Speaking of shirts, our merch is in the description, as well as a link to Honey, which is amazing for holiday shopping. It literally just scans all the websites and all the coupons everywhere and gives you free money, which is so great.
Somewhere around 7.5.
I gave it 7.3.
Yeah, I like the characters. I like Joe. Joe's very accessible. I like the fact that they said, well, he never asked about my life before. It's always talking about jazz. And he got to hear that comment. I mean, things like that were so important, whether or not the whole script worked together. Yeah, it can't go much higher because it just doesn't hold together fully. I haven't seen Inside Out. This really, really makes me want to see that. The
one thing I'll add to that is they tried to do too much. It felt like it was a very distracted movie. What I saw from the trailers, like, oh, it's about music and a musician's story. And it didn't really lean into that as much as I expected it would have. And it didn't really lean into the soul discussion. It didn't really lean into mentorship. And, he said, I don't care if I don't eat. And I thought, ooh, this is dicey, because he is dependent on his mom, clearly, for all these things. She's like, your father had me to support. And I'm like, well, where are we going from here? That's a great point. And then it just fell.
Lots of classic stories and classic situations.
But you would think Pixar would break through. They didn't.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
Not going to remember this as Soul. I'm going to remember this as Joey Gardner and 22. That's what this movie is to me. And pizza. which, you know, you'd think pizza would bring it up to 7.5 for me.
Well, there's only pepperoni pizza.
It was only pepperoni.
Be safe. Wear your masks.
Yes.
Good health to you and yours, and keep music and the arts in your hearts.
Amen. Bye. I think that could have been accomplished if two people switched souls. Like if you and I just did this.
Well, there's a lot of movie.
And we swapped and talked with your voice, and you would see people reacting to
it.
Hey everyone, my name is Dale, and I am a music teacher, and now you try to be me.
Hey everyone, welcome to my channel.
And then I would see you doing that, and I'd be like
Mickey Mouse.
I don't sound like Mickey Mouse all the time.